Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I am Bridget Bjorlo. Glad you're with us tonight. Bird flu was detected in a backyard flock in New London County.
Yeah, the state has reported cases in wild birds, but this is the first case involving backyard chickens in Connecticut since 2022.
Fox 61's Jamel Johnson spoke with a local farm about what they're doing to keep the bird flu away and out of our food.
Now, farms can't run without animals, and one of the main issues plaguing farm animals right now is the bird flu. I'm standing in front of the Department of Public Health, and they say it's not a big issue right now, but it still hits different when it's so close to home. Bird flu, a disease that's been ravaging farms for years, found its way to New London County where a backyard flock came in contact with an infected waterfowl. Jared McCool, owner and operator of Steadfast Farms in Bethlehem, says it's been a topic that's constantly on his mind.
A lot of our birds are outdoors. They're, pasture raised, or they're grown in a habitat that's natural to them, which puts them at a higher risk. It is definitely the main thing that keeps me up at night.
Even when you're doing everything right in terms of sanitation and biosecurity, the disease could still find its way to your backyard.
We have biosecurity protocols in place. We spend a significant amount of money in operations on not only the sanitizers themselves and the PPE, and then the training of the staff. We are a very high-risk farm because of the nature of what we do. Last year, we saw an 8-generation farm get reduced to nothing. They followed their protocols, they had their sanitation, and it's a crapshoot.
Good biosecurity protocols include buying birds from reputable sources, restricting traffic on and off your property, and having a good plan in place, along with keeping wild birds and rodents away from coops, not letting poultry have contact with wild birds, and washing hands and boots before entering the poultry area. But even when practicing good biosecurity, everything could still be gone in the blink of an eye.
We say in poultry, if one bird has it, they all have it. Think of that. Think of 8 years of building. Think of my staff of 13 and how they rely on this place for their livelihood. And in one bird, in one mistake that's not our fault, that all goes away.
McCool says while it's scary for the virus to be so close to home, he hopes it brings awareness.
It's not that we don't love our customers, but we don't want you here. They are becoming more aware because it's now affecting humans. But before that, they didn't understand why we had these signs that say biosecurity, do not enter.
Now, the flock in New London has since been depopulated and the risk to humans still remains low, but the Department of Public Health is advising all poultry owners and producers to enhance their biosecurity protocols. In Hartford, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
All right, Jamel, thank you very much. Turning now to the weather. It's been a cold week, but it's going to warm up for the weekend.
But not necessarily the whole weekend. Just about the time on Sunday evening you're saying, boy, the weekend's pretty much over. It's going to start snowing. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rach?
Yeah, but the good news is, again, I think that's pretty good timing for a snowstorm. I mean, everybody has their own opinions, but if you're going to get a snowstorm to come in here heading into later Sunday night is the time to do it, especially since Monday is a holiday. That snow getting underway through the afternoon. We've issued this weather impact alert from 4 p.m. Sunday until 1 o'clock in the morning on Monday for slippery road conditions. Plows are going to need to be out. We're talking about widespread plowable snow and the potential for a half a foot, maybe even more in some areas, with some heavier snowfall totals possible. But before we get to that, tomorrow is milder. We're looking at highs in the 40s, and we have some rain. Now, this isn't going to be problematic, but I still wanted to give you the timing of it in case you've got stuff going on during the day tomorrow. Maybe you got to run to the hardware store and pick up some salt or a new shovel. This will be between 2 to 8 p.m. tomorrow with some rain out there, so you'll need the umbrella if you're out running errands. Temperatures right now are in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. Overnight lows will stay in the 20s, so it won't be as cold as it has been the last few nights and following mornings. And while most of the day is dry as we head towards and after 2 o'clock, notice again, there's that rain we were telling you about, but it's a quick hitter lasting for several hours. And look at these temperatures tomorrow, climbing into the mid and even upper 40s as we head through the afternoon. We're going to talk more about the timeline of the snow and the bitter cold that follows, because this weather impact alert continues through next week. We'll explain why coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. So, yeah, this cold snap will be intense, and the governor's office will activate Connecticut's severe cold weather protocol starting Sunday night, and it'll last through Friday. If you or someone you know needs shelter, dial 211 or visit 211ct.org to see where there are warming centers and shelters near you. Well, new details now. A parent faces charges after being hit by a car following an argument at a girls' basketball game last weekend. 40-year-old Jason Supernant of Columbia is charged with breach of peace. Police say he's the man seen in this video chasing a car in the parking lot of Horace Porter School. The driver, Coach Brian Baez Rivera, is accused of intentionally hitting Supernant and also facing charges, but Supernant was charged for jumping in front of the car. The altercation began as a fight during the game and spilled out into the parking lot.
Traffic was backed up on I-91 in Rocky Hill this afternoon for a tractor-trailer fire. Take a look. This is what it looked like on northbound of the highway between exits 22 and 23. 2 lanes were closed as crews responded. No word yet on any injuries.
And developing news now, a fire ripped through an abandoned building in Hartford, which spread to an occupied building.
Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in Hartford with everything we know so far.
More than 20 people are without a home this morning after a massive fire on Ward Street in Hartford, and the damage is extremely difficult to look at. Now take a look at this. Last night there was a huge building that stood here. Now it's just a pile of rubble. You can see, of course, some bricks still standing, but just look at all of these charred debris elements, and check out that car in the back of the building over there, completely charred as well. Now this was, again, an abandoned building. The building next door was occupied with people. That's why 20 people are displaced this morning, because you can see the damage there as well. No roof. If you look into the windows, you can see everything inside is burnt to a crisp. The patio on the back is just barely hanging on. Now, luckily, no one was injured from the fire itself. Somebody was injured after slipping on some ice after they were trying to evacuate from that building, but no other injuries were reported. No firefighter injuries were reported either, so that is the good news as well. But unfortunately, 20 people are without a home. That includes 18 adults and 2 children. Now, fire officials say this was first reported right before midnight last night. The fire started in the abandoned building. Then firefighters say the fire quickly spread to the occupied building next door. And luckily, firefighters got a handle on it when they did, because there are other close buildings in proximity as well. And luckily, everyone is okay there, and the fire did not spread to those other structures. Now, at this point, a cause of the fire has not been released, but we're continuing to follow more information from the fire department. And once we learn more, we'll bring it to you on air, online, and on Fox 61+. In Hartford, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. New at 6, Senator Richard Blumenthal is demanding details on a new partnership between DraftKings and Delta Airlines. The mobile sports betting company is set to offer in-flight gaming to passengers on Delta flights. Senator Blumenthal has sent the CEOs of both companies a letter asking what safeguards they're putting in place to protect flyers from getting hooked on what he calls an addictive product. In his letter, Senator Blumenthal says in part, quote, "Given that a significant number of minors fly each year, I am especially concerned that this partnership will be advertised and available to children, enticing them to engage in betting."
Well, the clock is ticking for TikTok after the Supreme Court upheld a law requiring the app to be sold or banned by Sunday.
Justices agreed the social media giant's ties to China poses a national security risk, and President Biden, who leaves office on Monday, has said he won't be enforcing the law. Instead, he's leaving it up to the Trump administration to handle.
Alexandria Hoff has the story.
President Trump is looking at ways to save TikTok.
President-elect Trump, who once called for a TikTok ban, pledges to keep the app available after the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the law requiring it to be sold or banned due to national security concerns.
The best outcome here is for American ownership of the company, and that's something he's very interested in.
But a sale of the app by its Chinese parent company doesn't appear imminent. During oral arguments last week, attorneys for the company told justices Chinese law restricts the sale of the proprietary algorithm, which makes the app so popular.
This decision is the right one. TikTok is a threat to our national security and ought to be sold, not banned, but sold by the Chinese.
If there is no sale by the Sunday deadline, the app won't just disappear off phones. Instead, experts say new users won't be able to download it and updates won't become available. This would eventually make TikTok unusable to the nearly 170 million U.S. users.
Disappointment. I do believe that banning a social media app like TikTok is a violation of the First Amendment.
Today's ruling by the Supreme Court got mixed reactions from lawmakers, many who are now pushing for the app to be saved and are advocating for a deadline extension.
We have to find a way to save it so that we can have the time to fix the flaws.
On Friday, President-elect Trump said he spoke to China's president on the phone about TikTok and other issues, but his transition team has not said how he plans to save the app from going dark. TikTok's CEO is among several high-profile guests expected at Trump's inauguration this Monday. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox 61.